Thanks for having me. So in this one, we're going to talk about the need and efficiency of building multi-channel portfolios across advertisers' ad buying. And let me tell you a little bit about my background and what I've done before that. So I started off as an engineer, and EMC then had a small VC firm, but it turned out well on a small fund. We invested in 9 companies, had 5 exits. After that, with my partner, I founded a company called Appscotch. We were doing mobile marketing intelligence, to the sense that we were showing which ads were run where. So different advertisers could do competitive analysis with regards to other parties' user acquisition. And that one was really favored by gaming companies. We had a lot of gaming companies using the product, King.com, Kixeye, IGG, a lot of others were our customers. We had more than 200 gaming customers using the product. Then eventually it ended up acquired by App Annie, and that became App Annie Marketing Intelligence, because that's a very organic fit to their product suite. They have a lot of data, so that became even a more powerful solution. We got out of App Annie in January, and we were just observing the space itself. And we figured out that after having a lot of conversations with different people, that there is a definitive cost of using many channels when advertiser does ad buying. However, everyone realizes the need and value in it. So pretty much every advertiser you can think of is willing to spend in a diverse fashion across different channels, but there is definitive cost to doing that. So let's talk a little bit about why do we think that buying across many channels is a good idea. It's because on one hand, you can think that you can always stick to Facebook and Google, and that may get the job done. Why that might not be the case. One of those is that you really need to be able to get max ROI on your ad spend, regardless of the situation. And even with the platforms as vast as Google and Facebook, there are moments when your particular target group gets overbought. And in that particular sense, you gotta either compromise on return or you cease ad buying, and that happens to a lot of advertisers. And if you have a diverse portfolio, you just reallocate your budgets towards other channels, so you're not depending on just several big ones. And also, I think important one here is that their ability to have an ongoing process of channel discovery, so you can try new things in a rapid fashion, because there are people coming up with new ad units and new ways to acquire users, and you need to have ability and bandwidth to try those things. Also, there are a lot of networks which have exclusive relationship with inventory, right? For example, back in the days, I think Miniclip was exclusive to AdColony for some time, or Trivia Crack was exclusive to Bungle. And if you want to get there, you just got to work with those parties. Otherwise, you're just not getting there. And that's why I want to emphasize that the need for diversified portfolio is meaningful. Going forward, the process of adding new channel and having a channel on board is somehow costly, because you need to measure statistically meaningful budget to try a new channel. You need new legal relationship to manage, and then you need to actually optimize and scale that up. So your effort per certain channel is very meaningful, and given the way things are, there are a lot of per-channel operations that are pure cost and manual work for advertisers, things like adjusting bids, changing targeting, working with sources and sub-publishers, managing creatives. All of that is a combination of manual work advertiser needs to do on a per-channel basis. And that contributes a lot into actual day-to-day activity of every advertiser. So they need to either expand their team or seek efficiency in other places. Also, adding new channels makes it harder to act on the whole portfolio in general, because you need to basically analyze more data so you can act in a timely fashion. We also observe an interesting fact that number of actual channels to acquire users from is growing. However, it doesn't feel that way because we see some consolidation in this space, but we also see a lot of new big channels coming, like Snapchat, start offering app install ads. You can do that on Pinterest. And there's more things to deal with for app-focused advertiser. And on the other hand, operational infrastructure to just basically be able to operate that is vast, because you need to deal with a variety of networks. You need tools to visualize that. You need something that aggregates cost. You do that with some kind of attribution partner. You have BI to do your projected lifetime value. So this is like a complex infrastructure that advertisers have in-house to make things working. And what we do is we're working on making sure that UA team has ability to manage their channels in a more effective way. So we focus on the relationship between user acquisition team and channels in that grand scheme of things. So they have like a one product centralized dashboard where they can act right where their data is. So they can adjust bids based on campaigns performance and manage creatives and create campaigns in one dashboard that is applied to a variety of different channels that are meaningful for their ad buying. So let me show several cases how our product can actually streamline the process to create campaigns across different channels. So basically, there is just like a wizard that gives the ability to select your channels, apply your timing and targeting and creatives, so you can actually use one creative base across a variety of channels that you want to run that campaign on. So you can say like you want to run that on Bungle, Chartboost, and AdColony, and you upload assets from one assets repository, and here you go. You can also use assets which are performing well on one ad unit type using our repository to be applied to the other channels. So like if there's a video which is good on Bungle, you can flip that to AdColony and back and forth. And yeah, so in a centralized fashion, you can create one group of campaigns on a variety of channels without dealing with every one of them individually. And we see a lot of value at here just because we save ad buying teams time doing those operations. Otherwise, they just need to do a lot of work per every individual channel. So going forward, there's also like a lot of things going on, like the number of channels advertisers working from really varies from like 5 to 300 depending on the company size. Usually it's between 20 to 30 across like our customer base. And growing the number of channels just makes it harder to act on like the whole portfolio of channels advertisers working with. So we give advertisers a tool and ability to act right where their data is. So they can find certain campaigns which fit certain metrics. So for instance, what you can do, and it's really powerful, you can use pivot tables and act right in that table. So you can say, I want to see all the campaigns with ROI under 10%, and no matter what the channel is, we can just have those campaigns selected and take you to the interface where you can act on those campaigns. And in current environment, you deal with the cost aggregation product and every channel individually. So this is like a multi-hour operation because you need to see which ROI is where, and then you go to every individual dashboard and change things. And we can give advertisers ability to do that in just several clicks. So yeah, and we select campaigns from different channels, and then advertiser can switch the budget in a matter of several clicks without dealing with every certain channel individually. We can also do group operations here. And basically, you can change any possible metric for the campaign itself based on that selection. And that can be either budget or bid. We make it as flexible as we can. At the moment, we support 20 biggest platforms, but we're going to increase that list to like whole portfolio of 50 channels. But we would just launch today to public with that 20 biggest platforms at the moment. So basically, we see ROI on that I think it's important to understand ROI on having diversified portfolio in general, as we discussed earlier. That gives advertisers ability to react on certain market situations that not dependent on several sources of their paid audience. And we're just making that affordable. I think that's the thing. So like, if you want to have a diverse portfolio of channels, you don't need a team of 10 people. You just need a product that helps you run your campaigns like ours. So it helps smaller companies do more, and actually it helps like bigger companies be even more effective. Surprisingly, like we have like a lot of good feedback from bigger advertisers. I thought it will be like more of a product focused on like smaller advertiser, but we really see big spenders with significant teams very enthusiastic about like ability to improve their efficiency as our product. Like we had several early customers that includes IGG, which is I Got Games, and TextNow messaging company. Yeah, this is it. So I'd love to learn what you guys think, and thanks for having me.
Yeah. Did you want to take questions if anyone has them?
Yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah, okay, we've got a few minutes, 4 minutes. So does anyone have any questions for Andrey about Acquired IA's work? Maybe not.
Is it all ad networks you're integrated with, or exchanges as well?
Yeah, at the moment, this is mostly ad networks. So like we all have several DSP partners, no exchanges directly, because like the product itself is not a DSP, it's more of a software that powers ad buying functionality. But this is on a roadmap. And we're focusing exclusively on apps, just to be sure. So like this is like our customer is somebody whose product is application and whose goal is either like he has a clear understanding of either LTV or like volume. I can give a lot of non-gaming examples like Hotel Tonight, Wish, all of those companies are qualified customers. However, we're thinking of gaming as our like beachhead, because a lot of those ad operation challenges they're seen in gaming, and we're working on solving them.
Oh, sorry. Can we get a mic to you, because we can't necessarily all hear the thing. So thank you for waiting. There we go.
So if we do use a channel that's not supported by your platform, won't that fragment our UA activities? We'd have to manage the finances manually for that channel. Do you have any sort of flexibility that we can plug in a custom channel of our own into?
Yeah, absolutely. So like it's not us versus something else. So you can use like, so you can run some of your portfolio through Acquired IO and some things directly. What we've seen is popular that advertisers use it a lot for like, they think like there's Facebook, Google, and everything else, and we're a good option for everything else. We're not looking to, I don't know, go and compete with, say, Nenigans in terms of doing Facebook better. This is like now what we're going to do.
So if we have a direct deal with somebody, let's say a website that's targeting a niche, are we able to plug that relationship into the system?
It does depend on like, well, how do you power that? For example, I don't know, if you use like AdColony to power that relationship, for example, that's possible. If this is like a pure direct deal without like any bigger infrastructure partner, that will be less likely to be the case to support it.